Welcome to Coping Together, Mental Health Association of Central Florida's live web series dedicated to helping you develop coping strategies and wellness tools related to COVID-19, as well as talk about mental health. Coping Together was created in response to COVID-19's mandatory social distancing orders. This show seeks to learn and educate. We do not speak for any particular group. Overall, Coping Together serves as a platform through which we can demystify and unpack mental health concepts and hear from experts in the field. Please note that this show may discuss sensitive topics, including but not limited to sexual assault, suicide, and various traumas. If you find yourself feeling upset or struggling during any episode, listen to your body and pause the input. We will post related resources. Remember, it's okay to get help.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to this week's episode of Coping Together. I'm your host, Faith, with the Mental Health Association of Central Florida, here to talk to you about topics related to mental health and how that ties into COVID-19. As always, I'm excited to welcome our guests. Today, we have Colleen Cantin with Central Florida Cares. Colleen, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much. So thank you for being here. And I think that, before we go into our topic, can you tell us just a little bit about your organization and what you do within your organization?
Of course. So like you said, my name is Colleen Cantin. I'm the housing specialist with Central Florida Cares. We are the managing entity for Orange, Seminole, Osceola, and Brevard counties. We're contracted through the Department of Children and Families, and we provide behavioral health services through our contracted network. And I specialize in homeless services.
Okay, so sounds like you guys do a lot. You really cover a lot of areas. And actually, what you do specifically ties in, of course, to today's episode, which is navigating the anxiety of homelessness during COVID-19. And so I think I'll start by asking if you can kind of break this down a little bit for our viewers. Specifically, what is the relationship between anxiety and homelessness?
Absolutely. So unfortunately, the two are often correlated. Whenever someone is experiencing homelessness, it's very common for them to start struggling with their mental health. The reality of homelessness is that it is traumatizing. Most individuals end their day knowing where they're going to lay their heads at night, where their next meal is coming, where they'll be able to shower next. But for our individuals experiencing homelessness, that's just not their reality. And because that's not their reality, they are in a constant search. They're locating different services. They are trying to determine where they're going to sleep at night, where their next meal is going to come from. A lot of things that many people don't have to consider and do not have to worry about. But for them, it's their daily life, and it can be very toxic on them, and it can take a toll on their mental health. And they're in this constant state of fight or flight. And so if you can only imagine, if you are trying to meet your daily basic needs every single day, you may not be able to manage it. You may not be able to cope through it. And so if you may not have experienced mental health issues before entering into homelessness, it's very common for you to experience them once you do enter into homelessness.
Which is kind of like a double whammy at that point. You're suddenly having to deal with two things that you've never really experienced before.
Absolutely. It's very new territory.
Okay. And so that kind of allows me to, bring in, obviously, what we talk about here on Coping Together is COVID-19. So how does COVID-19 impact this or kind of tie into this?
Yeah. So for COVID-19 and the current pandemic, it has really challenged many people's mental health. For those who have been even laid off by their employers or furloughed, they're trying to anticipate their next needs. What are they going to need to be able to cope through this experience? Some people who live paycheck to paycheck, they're facing the reality of entering into homelessness. And for those who are not aware, the state of Florida is in a affordable housing crisis. So we have a severe lack of affordable housing. So if you couple a pandemic and the anxiety along with the unknown, and then with rising housing costs, it's really scary. People have to face the question, am I going to be able to pay my rent? Am I going to be able to pay my mortgage? What's going to happen? Is there anybody I can stay with? So they're fearful of the pandemic because this is something that, no one was anticipating. this came on and we have to learn to adapt. Many people are in isolation so that they are disconnected from their support systems. And that's part of the thing that's challenging is, you're going through these new experiences and you're trying to determine what to do next. When will everything be lifted? When will everything go back to normal? Will everything go back to normal? Something that many people are just not sure of. So during this time, it's just really important to stay connected with your support systems, to keep in contact with your family, your friends, your church, community, whoever it may be, just so that you're able to check in with others and then check in with yourself at the end of the day. COVID-19 is very scary for most people. And although a lot of people may enjoy being at home, for others, the fear of isolation is something that can be very taxing. So whenever you are dealing with something that's new, whether it's COVID-19 or whether it is facing homelessness, it's really good to maintain contact with your support systems and check in with yourself daily to ensure that you're doing everything that you possibly can to get yourself through your day.
I think you make a really good point by, bringing up, like you said, again, it ties back into that concept of mental health and the importance of checking in with yourself, checking in with your support system. And, Central Florida Care seems to really, emulate that in the mission that you guys all have. And so can you elaborate for me on some of the resources that exist for individuals and families who may be struggling with the prospect of homelessness or experiencing homelessness currently?
Absolutely. So for many people, you may not be aware, but there is something called continuums of care. So essentially, it's a network of stakeholders who are focused on ending homelessness. So Central Florida Cares, we do partner with our continuums, which we do have two. So for Orange, Osceola, and Seminole County, we have the Central Florida Commission on Homelessness. And then for Brevard County, we have a Brevard Homeless Coalition. So in working with our continuums of care and other community stakeholders, we were able to access additional funding. Many counties and state agencies have received additional funding through the CARES Act. So in order to access any of those funds, the easiest thing to do is to call your local 211. So by dialing 211, you'll be able to talk to someone and explain your situation, and they are equipped with the best resources and services to get you connected, because there are various ways of contact into the system, and you can contact Central Florida Cares, of course, if you're in need of assistance for any behavioral health or homeless services, and we'll get you connected to someone. You can contact your local continuum of care as well. But the easiest thing to do is to dial 211 and to get connected with the services, because they are the most up-to-date and prepared to get you connected to the proper services. And we have different specialized teams that do work with individuals that are completing community outreach. So you'll see them out there working with individuals, getting them connected with hygiene kits to their basic needs, whether it's getting them into a shelter or getting them local affordable housing, which, whenever you're homeless, housing is the ultimate goal, because as we believe that if you are homeless, the end goal is to find a home. And we do believe that that is possible. So in order to get connected to those, we have many services. So you can either contact my agency, Central Florida Cares, or you can dial 211 to get connected.
Thank you so much for bringing that up. And just to confirm, so 211, is it a 24/7 hotline?
Yes, it is. So you should be able to call 211, and at any time they'll be able to get you connected to someone.
It's awesome to know resources like that exist, and resources like Central Florida Cares. To add to that, we will be including the information that Colleen mentioned in the description of our episode. So that includes Central Florida Cares website and the 211 number and their website. And so moving forward, I do have one more question for you, Colleen. What is the impact that you think this new situation or the prospect of homelessness can have on people kind of emotionally? Like you mentioned, the need to check in or the need to consider, your emotions. How is that going to play a role in people moving forward?
So when facing homelessness, for many, it's primarily the fear of the unknown, how they're able to navigate a new daily life when their basic human needs go unmet. It can be scary and anxiety inducing, but if I can leave you with anything, is that there are so many community agencies that are out there that are able to assist you and are ready to assist you navigate this new scary experience that you are going through. There are many community resources that individuals can get connected to, and the continuums of care work really hard to establish a route out of homelessness. And along the way, if there are any behavioral health services needed, that's something that we partner with them very closely to ensure that if you're experiencing mental health issues for the first time, we're able to get you connected because, like I said earlier, for those, if you have not experienced mental health issues prior to entering into homelessness, you may begin to experience them. And it's something that, you're going to have to work to understand yourself and how you react to different situations. And you're going to have to learn what to do to pull yourself out. And that's something that there are mental health agencies that are there to help you identify those solutions and to get you connected with yourself, to understand exactly what you need in order to lift yourself up to a better situation.
Thank you for bringing that up and talking about that. And I will jump in and do a little bit of a plug-in for the Mental Health Association. As one of the resources that, I think ties into what you're talking about, Colleen, is we have our Connections program, which we've talked about on the show before, but for those of you who may not be familiar or may be new to the show, essentially we have a team that works with our callers. They can text. Yes, we're up to date, modern now, we text. But you can text us, you can call us, and we will work with you to identify what services you're looking for. If you are looking for, homeless services, like I said, we can connect you with programs that are like Central Florida Cares, like what Colleen does. But we primarily focus on mental health services and getting people connected with things that are, affordable in their price range. And if you have insurance, accept your insurance and all of that. But really, we want everyone to know that, it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to ask for help. And that's, one of the things that we love about the Connections program. So with that being said, thank you for allowing me to do that little plug in there, Colleen. Thank you so much for being on our show today. Thank you for talking about this really important issue. And I just thank you so much for, helping us open the conversation about it and helping people feel not so alone. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm honored that you all asked me to be on here because Mental Health Association has done so many great things for the community, and just being a part of it and, being able to work alongside you all is it's an honor. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, with that being said, we're going to wrap up for today, but thank you again, Colleen, for being here. Thank you all of you to watching. Please, if you have any ideas, any recommendations or questions for episodes that you want to see, you want us to talk about, please let us know. You can contact us by phone. I'll include our information as well as our website. And just thank you so much. We're all going to get through this period together. So with that, you all have a great day.